भी बंद कर दिया, कोई नहीं है इसमें।
नहीं नहीं मैंने
देखा था क्या ये निकल गया पर अब तू क्या बनेगा।
ये पता, ये तो ऐसे ऐसे खड़ा ही खड़ा टूट गया बिना गिरे मेरे सामने। प्लास्टिक भी सब रहती है।
Oh my god. Oh. Oh my god. Oh. कैसे डालोगी आप इसे? कैसे डालोगी? कैसे डालोगी? कैसे डालोगी? कैसे डालोगी? पापा मुझे चिपकाने वाला मिला था। मैंने तो बोला नाचना अब अम्मा बोला है काची अब अम्मा बोला है कि और बम बोला है काची और बम बोला है काची राखी ओ बम बोला है काची ओ बम बोला है काची। ओए इतना चला लाइट, इतना चला लाइट, इतना चला लाइट। अब देखे नहीं सका देख बम बोला है काची ओ बम ला है काची ओ बम Baba, Baba tidur. Kiri kanan, kiri kanan, kiri kanan. Mama bola, pagi. Aku nak kalau dalam. Mama bola, kau. Mama, ada tidak. Karena saya, ke,
Hai. One. Get. Ini dia sebenarnya.
बाबू अंदर जाओ, सामने जाओ।
नहीं है। अब बोल 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 बोल। ये कद्दू किया या फिर कद्दू किया ने
ए मुंह बंद कर
किया कितने कद्दू
when you put me in a room, there's useless that is. So I don't like it. I give it and I say, no, I don't like it. So like, can you change me a room? So then they gave me a sitting room. So when I went to the sitting room, we started put in my card, smart card, electricity turned on. Within 3 minutes that I walk around the room, the electricity went.
Yeah.
Services. When we get into our Harmony family of solutions, they're all SaaS-based and happen to be running on AWS, they may be running on Google, Azure, whatever that may be. It opened up the ecosystem to be a much more broader channel. And I use that term channel because ultimately, when I was brought on board, I was hired into the global channel organization. Currently, we'll work with Francisco. We'll get to that in a minute. And CSP, cloud solution providers, cloud service providers, whatever you want to call them, are viewed primarily as a global channel for us. Okay?
Mhm.
So on my team, I've got resources like Rita, who covers APAC. I've got an individual named Dave Rayner, who covers EMEA. I've got two individuals, Todd Watson, who's based in Seattle and manages our AWS Strategic Alliance. Got Scott Wiss, who's based in Dallas, Texas, and manages our Microsoft and our Google relationships. Todd actually manages our Oracle relationship as well. So they're kind of two in the box. And then, as I like to say, on their in their night job, they kind of keep an eye on the Americas. Okay.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of that core team. Now, next to that, I've got an operational team. It's headed up by Mark Rappaport. There's a couple of individuals, Rowdy, Simona, and then in Singapore, we just hired B. I assume at some point we'll get to know B real well. She's fantastic. And then next to that team, I have what's called a co-sell team. So as you're aware with these relationships with AWS, Microsoft, Google, our foundational efforts are really based on the co-sell efforts that we do with these partners. Are we working with their sales teams? Are we sharing opportunities? How does that all build out? We have a certain set of metrics that we're being tracked by, especially with AWS, where we actually have a contractual obligation. The next part is, how many of those deals we take through their respective marketplaces? Are we closing enough revenue through the AWS marketplace, Azure, through Google Cloud, whatever those respective marketplaces are. In the case of Oracle, it's still in its infancy. We'll see down the road if they truly do build all that stuff out. And then the last one, which is it becomes more and more critical in our mind as Checkpoint calls itself a 100% channel focused company, and I truly believe that. I mean, there's obviously anomalies in all the systems and in particular regions, but we truly are focused on building out our world, leveraging the channel ecosystem. And traditionally, that has been distribution. That's a large part of what we're trying to do is break ourselves from that legacy of distribution and embrace the marketplaces for a transaction model. But building out that retailer ecosystem to align with us as we work with these different cloud providers.
Yeah.
And so I call it channel activation, for lack of a better term, but again, it's the co-sell aspects, the marketplace aspects, and then the channel activation. That's fundamentally what we're focused on. So what happened, just to finish this out, what happened about 18 months ago is we took a resource in the UKI, her name is Natasha Wybrow. At some point, I'd love to get you on the phone with her because she's kind of our gold standard when it comes to this particular world. We took Natasha. She was, I think, a second person on the Bytes partnership, channel relationship. And we took her, pulled her over, and they gave her CSP responsibility. And said, okay, within the UKI region, we want you to be our person in region, focus on that co-sell of the marketplace and the channel activation as it pertains to what we're trying to do here with the cloud providers. Okay? And it's been a fantastic success. Okay? So about 6 months into it, we started to realize this was going well. Our German team, who covers Germany, Switzerland, also DACH, they call DACH, DACH, brought on an individual named Martin Houston. And Martin, again, was a distribution person, was kind of a little bit of an extra. And they said, well, let's realign Martin towards the cloud providers, the CSPs, hyperscalers, and let him build out what we're doing in the stock region. And that has proved to be very, very effective. And it was a combination of really two things. One, having that focus in that particular region, okay? When somebody is on that team, kind of helping the sellers, helping the channel managers, build out this relationship. It was a friendly face, a friendly person that they could rely on to really truly help, build that out. And they were in region. They were on the staff meetings, they were on team meetings, they were, able to come to events and meetings, all those kinds of things. The second part is because they were residing within that particular sub-region, the executive management had ownership for their success. Okay, so what we ended up doing is we went into 2025 is we said we want to replicate this all the way around the world. Okay, so we ended up getting 8 of these new headcounts approved. We actually ended up putting 3 more into Europe, 3 here in the Americas, and then 2 down in APAC, of which you're one of those resources. Okay? So it was by design that you would not report to my organization, that you would not report to, I don't know if you've met Pankaj yet, at some point you're going to meet Pankaj. He's our head of channels for all 8. By design, we're not going to report to me, we're not going to report to Pankaj. We wanted you actually reporting into that media sales organization. We wanted that team to take ownership for cloud providers, hyperscalers. We wanted them to take ownership of you and truly embrace you, be a part of that team. But what Rosita and I look to you for is being that extended part of our team in that particular region. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And you start to see how that kind of triangulates in region plus, but you're also you're part of a much bigger effort here. And, you know, if you look at kind of hyperscalers, CSPs, what we're doing, still, if you look at what Francisco, and probably may or may not be aware that, you know, Francisco's officially leaving at the end of this week.
Mhm.
He came out of distribution, he had an opportunity to go back to distribution in a kind of a key role, and so he took that opportunity. So we'll get a new channel chief here pretty soon. But he's assured me, I've seen it in his presentations, but when he goes in and says, of all the initiatives that we have going within the channel, okay, CSP still remains number 2. Number 1 is basically this giant partner program, you know, tiering these partners, making sure they're happy, everybody's good, they get paid, and all that kind of stuff. That, you know, in a channel organization, that was cool. But to be number 2 initiative, then we've got MSP, and like number 3, we've got some other, you know, distribution, number 4, blah, 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 you go down the list. You know, what we're trying to do with this global channel specific to the cloud providers still remains, you know, one of our top priorities. And that, I've been assured by him, that remains even with ETON. ETON runs all of our global sales channels. And so that affords us, obviously, the ability to bring in these resources, continue to make these investments. Well, you'll learn over time, we've got a considerable amount of funding available through myself, through my marketing counterpart, Tricia, as well as you know, AWS at a global scale gives us about $1 million in MDM every year. That allows us to go out and promote this solution. Right? Yeah. Funding a little bit from Microsoft, we end up with about $250,000 a year with Microsoft. Very little. And that really has everything to do with outside of AWS, the solutions that we're running on Azure and solutions that we're running at Google start to get pretty small. Not a lot of solutions.
Yeah.
Those platforms. We're trying to fix that actually. I just came from a call with Google. We've got a big POC running SaaS solutions on Google. Maybe an opportunity to be able to promote those. Anyway, so before I jump too much farther, is that all? Kind of a quick intro. That's kind of my team, how you're kind of an extended part of it, but you're not, you know, part of that, you know, critical part of that India team.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. All right. So what I'll do, just to finish that part, I'll send you a document.
Mm-hmm.
It's a PowerPoint document, and what it does, I'll send you 2 just for your, show it to you real quick. But the first one kind of breaks down the different resources. So it just kind of talks about these different roles, and then, you know, how we're adding these resources. We're still working on hiring the 3 resources for the Americas. I talked about EMEA. Natasha was our first one, and Martin in Germany. We added Sergio, Maria, and then we're in the process of hiring for somebody out of the Dubai.
Okay.
And then I need to update this. Let's see, we now have. You got yourself, and then we're looking as Rosita knows, we're trying to hire somebody in Japan.
Yeah, so the guy has been interviewed by EG-san, and it was okay. So and the guy will be now in the midst of being interviewed by Saga-san. So once Sagasan go through that, I will be the third interviewer. Then we are good.
Okay. So we have, so you report up to mediation centers, and we just have to John Bond, Pankaj, and then ourselves. So what Rosita and I will want to do is make sure, maybe not every week, but every other week, we have, just a quick call us in to make sure you're getting the support you need and trying to build all this. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the next one that I will bring to you is during this process of justifying these resources, I put together just a quick set of slides that says, okay, we talked about this co-sell, marketplace channel. The other one is operational excellence. We'll talk more about that in time.